En primer lugar, el incipiente crecimiento de India como una nación, como una nueva potencia mundial. ¿Qué cree que ha supuesto para su país?
What do you think this huge growing of India? What do you think it has meant for your country? This overpopulation, of this intense growing of the population in India. How do you think it has affected the country?
You are talking only about population or about the country as a whole in terms of income also?
I would
country
say,
as a
yeah, like
whole.
the growing of the population in terms of how the country can like control this growing and how it can be affected in the like either national or international community. I would say.
Right now we have a population maybe around 1,260 million people, and yes, indeed it has been a huge population. But let me point out a small thing to you. Even before, in 15th century, 14th century, in any of those times, if you see the world history, it has been the plains, the regions more suitable for civilization living, like China and India, which always had the largest population fraction of the world. Yes, indeed, in the last few years, in the last 100 years, which includes the 60 years after independence and before that during our colonial rule, the increase in population has been tremendous. But right now, we are in the process of stymieing it and controlling it. And we rather, right now, are seeing it from a different perspective. The average age of the persons in India right now is 29 years, which means a young population, which means a more productive population, which means a population which can be useful for the whole world in terms of technological, scientific development. Yes, there are issues too. We need to provide food, basic necessities, education, everything to the people. But just imagine if we are able to provide all those necessities to all our people. It will not only be an asset to country, it will be an asset for all of us, for the whole world. There are many parts of this world which have an aging population, which need a lot of human resources from other countries, and thus these populations can always be productive for the whole world. Yes, there is a need to balance it and bring it on a sustainable level. But I guess we are in this direction, and the government has been trying to do that. Maybe we'll achieve it in next. Just give us 10 more years and we'll 10 to 15.
Thank you.
Sobre todo si hay algún modelo similar al MUNE en India, si hay algún modelo parecido.
Are you aware of any similar models like the one we're hosting here, Models UN, or any sort of academic institution that celebrate any models? Doesn't have to be necessarily the United Nations, that have like international community in it.
When I was in college, I studied engineering. I was also part of a youth conference on United Nations, which happened in my college. Of course, it was only between the colleges in Delhi, the city I belong to, where my studies were there. But we have a lot of focus on such kind of competitions. The problem, rather than putting it as a problem, I would rather say that Spain is at an advantage in the terms that it's situated in a continent like Europe, where there is better connectivity. There is a lot of tradition of Erasmus exchanges, where people keep on going from one country to another, where transportation is not an issue. For a country as huge as India, which is in its a continent itself, for us it's even difficult to even communicate between the states. So, though we do not have many such competitions which have over worldwide students coming to them, but we have several competitions amongst the universities, amongst the colleges in a particular city, among the universities. Then these people qualify for the next level, and so on and so forth. But such competitions are treasured because United Nations is treasured in India. And we have many such competitions. Apart from these United Nations competitions, we have also, like every place has a culture of debating,
International affairs.
Thorough threadbare. So such practices exist, and indeed it is a welcome practice here also. Thank you.
That's fantastic.
Si cree que participar en este tipo de modelo le ayudó a su formación como diplomático.
Would you think that participating or taking a role in these kind of models helped you in your formation of your career as a diplomat?
I would like to point out that what Mr. Garcia said, that it's always difficult to be in another's shoes. For us, whenever we had any such competitions, we were consciously asked to take standpoints which were against our own conscience. Let's say if you support something, you go against it and debate it. And if you not support something, it has to be vice versa. It has to be more. It has to be a place where you start standing into, you see into others' eyes. You see into what other people think. This helps in two ways. First, it brings tolerance, it brings patience, it makes you aware of the viewpoint of others, it makes you aware of the cultural standpoints of other people. Because every society has its own culture, its own language, its own history, its own religious practices, and out of it born own societal norms that has to be followed in that particular country. And so it's very important for us that we keep on having such competition, which every person is paired into a different shoe, so that they get to know. And the another point of the good thing is, it's like game theory. You get to know the viewpoint of others, so that in the future when you have to count, you have to set against them, then you will get to know their viewpoints more well. It's always said that it's better to know the opinions. You have to look into the eyes of the adversaries. So let's say in future you have any country which is at a opposite standpoint to you, so it's better when you see their viewpoint. And for that, such an behavior, inculcating these kinds of debate competition, inculcating these kinds of exercises is very important.
Y por último, un consejo que le quisiera dar a cualquier joven que se quisiera dedicar a la diplomacia.
Great. What tip or what advice would you give anyone who would like to dedicate their lives to diplomacy? Any of the students who are here?
I'm almost the same age, so my advice does not matter.
Or
maybe 2-3 years elder, not much.
Your best advice.
2 or 3 years.
Not much. But yes, I would say there is no shortcut to reading. We have to read and we have to understand standpoints of others. I would also advise, because I have been here for the last 6 months, and I feel that it's extremely important for students of politics to study religion and mythology of every country. Because it is the religion, as you know, religion is the mythology is the thing which drives masses, which drives every society. There have been so many conflicts right now between a set of, it's called clash of civilizations right now by many of the authors. It has been called. It's very important to know the religious norms, the societal norms, those things of every country, and to learn that things can be different from us, not only in terms of color, but in terms of our practices, in terms of our thoughts, in terms of our habits also. And for that, study is most important. So my only advice is read, and also read things which have not been considered important, like religion, mythology, culture of other countries, because they will give you an edge when you are studying legal affairs, when you are going into a new diplomatic career. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your time and your
much.
passion. Gracias por traducir.
Thank you very much for attending. Thank you very much for the interview. It's really an example, like talking to someone like you, so passionate about like